Oh boy. My name is Allie, and for 3 years I've lived in this rundown cabin, fixing it up. At this point, I've learned a lot about winter survival here and finding ways to make the season feel easier. A lot of it comes down to the prep work, learning the best ways to manage the essentials, like keeping the woodshed stocked so the wood stove remains full and running and warm, being more self-reliant, knowing what it takes to harvest the trees from the land. And another thing I've realized is that winter needs to be your friend. You don't necessarily fear it, you just respect it. And you adapt to the lifestyle, especially when it's half of the year up here in the north. You embrace the magic it brings and become one with the cold. Right now, it's November, and the very first snowfall has come, and even if some days it's a windy flurry that barely coats anything, it means that the real deal is right around the corner. So I'm back into the swing of winter preparation, making sure that I'm ready for another 6 months of frigid conditions here in the countryside. My compost went out of whack and I need to save it before we really get into the snow in the winter and it gets buried. So I grabbed my kitchen scraps that I collect every day, veggies, eggshells, used coffee grinds, and I'm going to take that out. These would be considered the greens. You really want 3 parts brown, 1 part green. Brown things would be leaves, wood chips. So yeah, I gotta go see what I can do to fix it. Oh my gosh. No. Oh my goodness, Harper. Come on. What the heck? What the heck? What was she thinking, Mal? What was she thinking? About a year or 2 ago, I came out here and started building a 3-bay composting system with the idea that each bin is for a year and then you let it be, you let it decompose, and over the course of time you'll always have 1 bay that is ready to be used for that growing season. But I got caught up in the idea of having to fill the bay all the way up, and I'm just not quite at that level of production yet. Maybe once we have more of a farm or homestead set up here, and because of that it has started to decompose, but I keep adding new stuff in, and it's not getting there. So I need to put this one to sleep with the winter and move on to the next bays. I have a ton of extra comfrey. It's nitrogen rich. It heats up the compost pile, so I'm going to put some in bay 2 to start. I know that this is out of whack because I've just been adding in so many kitchen scraps and not adding in the leaves or the wood chips. So that's what I have to look for today. I am going to put some in bay 2, and then once I can lift this, it'll all go into that first bay. And there's some leaves on the bottom too, just to mix up the browns. Okay, gotta mix it up. So not only is it now the right ratio, but I also almost doubled the volume of what I had. So now I'll just add a couple more comfrey leaves on top and let it sit for the winter. Come back and check it out in the spring and start moving on to using bay number 2. So this here is a traditional recipe for what is known as a thieves blend cleaner. It's going to disinfect, freshen. You can use it on different surfaces like your kitchen countertop, the bathroom, glass. It's going to wipe out the bacteria, keep things smelling fresh. Super easy to put together. I did rubbing alcohol halfway and then witch hazel extract. You could do water. Some people play around with vinegar in these recipes, and then the main essential oils that you'll want include clove bud, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And then for fun, I have a lot of extra rosemary from the garden dried out. I'm going to put this in. It's going to infuse into here, add more of an antibacterial property, and I just like how it looks. It's really good smelling, invigorating, refreshing. Thinking about putting this in my shop. The only thing that I've done kind of close to this would have been hand sanitizer in the past. But yeah, I always have the link in my description. The holidays are coming up. If you'd like to treat yourself or a loved one or a friend to the gift of more natural living, free of toxins, chemicals, got something for everyone. That smell. Another big day today, splitting, stacking firewood, making sure that we have enough to get through winter. But another big component of all of this is that you need to know there's going to be blizzards, massive windstorms. These heavy snow-covered branches are bound to fall on the power lines. It happens every single year, and the way we handle that is by having a Jackery at all times. And today I've partnered with them to tell you about my favorite device of theirs yet, and that is the HomePower 3600 Plus. So this device is specifically designed for modern households of 3 to 6 people. It combines power, safety, and portability. It functions as an essential home backup power solution, so it covers all of your essentials during an outage. It'll handle your Wi-Fi, your medical devices, kitchen appliances, large and small. I've got the fridge plugged in right now, and I can expand this up to 21 kilowatt hours, which means the fridge can run for up to 14 days. Right now we're in the middle of some electric work and the oven isn't hooked up, but I can plug it into the Jackery and it handles it no problem. It's also really great to know that I can keep my home businesses running no matter what, and that I have a large range of outlets to pick from. And with winter blizzards bringing freezing freezing temperatures, I have real peace of mind knowing that this will operate down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. And moreover, it's built to last, delivering over 10 years of durability, and even if you use it every single day, at 10 years, the battery will still retain 70% capacity. Solar charging is fast and easy, and these panels are waterproof and wind resistant. There's actually plenty more to talk about, but Jackery's website is loaded with information if you're curious about solar generators, home backup power. Right now, with Black Friday and Cyber Monday around the corner, you can get up to 65% off, and I'll put that link in my description. So thanks again to Jackery for not only sponsoring this video, but for keeping our home powered. This week I caught something. It's a little hard to talk right now, I'm super stuffy, but it's nothing like a warm bowl of soup to help with that, and just soups and curries I've been trying to make more of throughout the colder months here because it keeps your core body temperature nice and warm. They're easy to digest. You can sneak in tons of veggies and herbs and spices and things like bone broth, so you get the nutrients, the collagen, the protein. It's also just really cozy and comforting to have a delicious bowl of soup. Kyle's working on a sourdough loaf. I wanted to show you one of my favorite right now. It's colorful, it's easy to throw together, and that is butternut squash soup. A really, really creamy one. A couple of ways to get the skin off of this. I've just cut it in half before, and then once it bakes, the skin comes off easily, but you do have to wait for it to cool down. It gets really hot. So you can see I'm just starting by peeling, and it goes really quickly, and I'll bring that out to the compost. You don't want the skins, they're tough, they're going to interfere with the texture of your soup. Transferred everything from this week's kitchen scraps and today into this bowl, and now, like I said, I'm going to start using compost bin number 2. So much snow on this. I've got this project that I really should have done a month ago, and I think it's still going to work. We're going to give it a try today, but the ground typically would be not frozen for this, so Kyle's going to help me work the land a little bit with the excavator, rough things up. The other thing is that it's been held back because across from the garden we had the pea tunnel last year, and that's going to be moving. We want to build a greenhouse there and put more of the things that the deer won't eat outside of the garden, just to keep going with expanding what we can grow here. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been already clearing out this section of land, and now we have one more tree that's in the way, so we got to do that first. See what we can get done. So it's this maple tree right here is the last one for now, and then we can start on to what we're actually doing. Turns out the core of the tree was starting to rot, and either way, we're just going to use all of this for firewood. Alright, feeling really good about the mixture I have. It's nice and loose. I'll show you what the soil is like here, and it's not just because it's cold, it's like this year-round. It's clay-like, it's really kind of rock solid, and I'm going to be planting garlic in my biggest area yet in front of me. And think about how could things like garlic, carrots, beet expand well when you're dealing with soil like this. So that is why I have amended it. I was feeling super nervous about not getting this done before winter and the heavy snowfalls, so this is really great to have done. I've planted in the spring before, but fall is really ideal. Got a couple varieties here that I'm going to get in, hopefully before it gets completely dark out. Come springtime, when the greenhouse is getting built right next to it, we'll start developing this whole new section of land where we're growing more food. And you guys, I tried, I really did, but by the time I was getting cloves in the ground, I could hardly see in front of me anymore, and I was worried about messing up the spacing of the rows, but also about risking the ground freezing overnight, and in the end, I figured it would just be better to try again in daylight. That's everything. I think I planted 100. This was one of the last big things I wanted to get done before winter is in full swing here. I have to put the comfrey leaves on and some straw to insulate everything, but it's pretty much taken care of, and this should provide enough garlic for us to last the entire year once I harvest it. And then once the snow does melt this year, we can move into making some really big transformations on the land, like I said, with the greenhouse ideally, and just more areas for growing more vegetables and flowers and herbs. And then this winter, the game plan is to move back inside with the projects and get going on the renovations for the A-frame.